Welcome everyone, KD here with another live stream. And it seems that YouTube fixed the problem again, and the video, at least the video this time, shows up in the feed. That's great. But today's topic, today I want to draw sand texture, which will be, of course, for the map itself, for the ground, and also, I will use it for a second layer for my sandworm, so there will be some sand sticking on his skin at certain points. Um, yes, and here I have an example of a seamless sand texture. The problem is it's beach sand, and I couldn't find a very good um, desert sand for an example, so I will use this one here, but it's anyway just for to have a reference. So probably will make it a little bit more cornier, not that much details because I of course draw everything else, but you anyway see here it's repetitive, so it's anyway already an altered picture. Um, And I will, like I said, of course I will draw that. I just have always to control the second time if I put my speaker on. Sorry about that. So I will draw everything on my own. It's absolutely okay if you want to. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to have this extra work to draw your own textures, and you anyway want to go more photorealistic, and so it's absolutely okay to take this picture here or another picture and use this as your texture. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, we will need to make a normal map. I probably will try again with hate map, not normal map, because it will be, I mean, somewhat a complex, more or less complex um, picture, so do that. And I'm pretty sure you will find if you Google it, seamless sand normal map, or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you find some free seamless sand with a normal map included, uh, and this will save you a lot of time. But I will draw it on my own for different reasons. One reason is because this is kind of partial what I want to do with this project. I want to do everything that is possible, do on my own. I know this won't be 100%. There are some things I need help by others and so on for this project. But everything I can do on my own, I will do on my own. And this is just something I want to do for this project. Again, different reasons. One reason is it gives, if I do it like this, there is a very high learning process, so I will learn to do a lot of different things. Um, and that means I can give this information in form of a tutorial or anything like this to you guys in the future and so on. But then another reason is kind of because I'm anyway going for more for this self-drawn style, so more comic anime style, like I say in almost every stream now. It would look strange if there is suddenly some photorealistic texture in the middle of it, and the rest is obviously drawn. The rest is drawn and so on. So I kind of want to keep the style the same. That doesn't mean if I draw a texture now and then I learn maybe different aspects of it and how to improve it, that I don't revisit it and redo it and so on. And another reason is if I do it on my own, I can recycle this texture. As example, for the sand texture, I won't go for yellowish brown brown color like you see here. I will go for completely white with gray shadowing and maybe some black in it for the corners of the stone and for some of the shadows, like we see here. Maybe here we see shadow. So one thing I see really from here is that we have to make a very bright texture, not much shadow. Anyway, and then why I'm doing that with white to black is pretty simple, because I can then take the texture, combine it with a color, and change the color of the texture. So I can make, like I said, yellowish brown sand texture, maybe reddish brown sand texture. I can create black sand texture, maybe more like ash, maybe when some near a volcano or something like that. I can make grayish texture, so we have more stone, not sand. I mean, we can blow up the texture a little bit, and then it looks more like a stony path or anything like that, and so on and so forth. So with that I can reuse it. So of course you can also add colors and even subtract colors from an already existent as from a texture that has already colors, like this one here. However, this is of course a little bit more complicated than if you really come from a white gray shading texture, then it's pretty easy because you don't have to subtract or think about if I have now a reddish color and I add blue, then I get purple. So I don't have to think about that. I just have, if I want a blue texture from, I just add blue with the blue color I want to it, and because it's white, very neutral, this won't be a problem. And also because it's gray, it will just be a darker blue, so the shadowing will work pretty fine. But so much to all the talking pre-information. So I don't know how far I get today with this texture. I will do this in GIMP, and I was thinking a lot about the size of this texture. To do it very small, to take a very small pattern, so I have to, so I can draw less and then just repeat it more. What maybe will the quality will be, but probably a little bit worse with that, absolutely, because it's then more repetitive than with drawing a bigger texture. So that was kind of like around the size of 100 times 100 pixels. Then the complete opposite would be 1000 to 1000 pixels as example. And because because I can, in the material itself, I can say how many times texture should be repeated. I think it wouldn't be that much of a problem if we take 1000 or 1000. The problem is if I create out of this pattern, and I put this pattern into another image by downsizing it, and then put the pattern in another image and repeat it over and over again, then I get just a really I did that once, and I think that one image was like 3 gigabytes or so, and that's of course not really good. So I'm kind of torn about going really high or staying low. So I think for now I will do something in the middle, so 500 times 500, I think. And then, yeah. And if I see that 500 is not enough, I will I will kind of upsize. I will get more bigger size, and then I have to draw more details into it. But I think 500. It may even to, yeah. So in general, you always say for better quality you would take higher pictures. So I'm still thinking about maybe 1000. Let's go for 500. We will see what the result is. I just don't know right now if it will be okay, how it will look like. I also have to think about the size of my corn, so how many times I want to repeat it. In other words, I mean, if as bigger corns I will make, as smaller I have, and as more repetitive I have to do the texture, so it looks real, more realistic again. I mean, it wouldn't be realistic if if the corns were almost like would just barely fit in a hand or something like that. Then this would look very strange for sand. Sand has very small corns, so you probably have to do a lot of details, at least I guess. So 500. Now the first thing I will do, let's see, or a little bit bigger. The first thing I want to do is I want to create a seamless texture. That means the top has to end like the part below, and the left has to end like the right, so we can add these textures to each other and they will be, like it says, seamlessly go over. So if we take this part out, then if we have two textures on each other and we take a part out, we won't see that these two textures fixed to each other. This will be a little bit complicated with drone. I know there is a filter that makes images. I think no, it's not here. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, there are a lot of filters. Noise, no. Artistic, noise, don't see. Anyway, somewhere in here, map, make seamless. You can make it seamless. However, it works pretty fine with photos and so that have a lot of details. It didn't work so well for me with things I drew for myself, at least. And I guess the problem is that just the detail amount. So you see it. You see it's just much better that it was changed so it's seamless. So I mean, I will probably try to use this filter and see how it is in the end. However, I probably won't I probably I mean I will start from the beginning to make it seamless per hand drawing, and I will show you now how I will do this more or less. And maybe I have to go a little bit closer and take a smaller circle here. Yeah, let's keep this. So what I will do is I will make points, and that's where where one sand cone, where the line for one sand cone is, and I will mark this black, and so I put it now on the 4, and I will go down here and do the same here on the same. Now I confused myself. 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. And I kind of will do the same. So 162. 62. Let's take a little bit different. 49. So not every cone will be the same size. 49. And then let's take a very small 2. So this may take a moment here. And this is then the kind of starting point where I do 78, where I do the lines for my cones. So this will also a little bit define the cone size, at least for the corners. Let's put this up. So I guess this will take some of my small. This will be a smaller stream here, an hour 90 minutes long, depending on how far I get. Like always, I talk too much at the beginning instead of doing something. Well, this is a little bit my problem, so we already lost a lot of time. Like I said, around an hour or so for this stream. And probably a little bit longer, so we get somewhere. Then I will pick this up another smaller stream. I will later in the, well, forgetting where I put 51. Say it out loud, then maybe I don't forget. 51. Um, make a little bit bigger one. Then smaller again. That was a little bit off. I mean, you see the arrow on the top, I hope. On the top here. To understand what I'm doing here. Let's go very small again. What was I talking about? Yeah, so this will be probably take a couple of parts. Like I said, the drawing is one thing, and then we also need to do the height map and so on. So later in the week, probably on Wednesday, there will be a longer stream, and then hopefully one of my marathon streams, and then hopefully we will finish there the desert squirrel, creating the fur coating, and then maybe going for doing some more targets, and then maybe going for some animations. We will see, but definitely the most important part is to finish the fur coating. Almost there. At least from top to down. And then there are other things we, if we finished with the desert squirrel, we will go back for a little bit at least to Unreal Engine, to the combat. System, and I added already the attributes for the player character. Next step will be attributes for the enemy. I wrote down something like a formula I will use. You will see why it's a formula, is because I need a lot of randomness in it. So even the same enemy won't have always the same attributes. So every time you face an enemy, it will always be a little bit different at least. Okay, now I need the side. Side here. And then as soon as we have registered all the attributes, made a formula for it, we can really starting to play around with changing the attributes, kind of testing out how different levels of enemies and players will work against each other. At what point it makes really a difference and so on will be very helpful then later on to define. To really define how much, kind of a little bit the progression of the story, so how strong should the enemies evolve and so on. I mean, it will be quite difficult to do this really dry, so I mean, there probably will be some changes later on anyway, but if we have already a very good balance, that's the word I'm looking for, then this will probably help us a lot in the future. And then we can also test out different attack types, different hit points, and so on. So hopefully, so that will be very interesting. To kind of test out this stuff as soon as everything is set up. And then we can start testing different things. We can then go further from only one player to 2-player, 3 players, and then more enemies, and so on. And when we have this kind of have a workflow there, a structure, then we already did a lot for the combat, and this will save a lot of time later on if we already know I mean, this is so important for later on. You can say, yeah, I will do this later and so on, but as further as you are in your game development and you do essential changes like really in the game mechanics, and the combat system and the progression system are of course probably the two most important game mechanics of my game. So if I have to change something essential there, it will take so much more time as further as we are in the game development itself. So it's extremely important. I shouldn't talk with gestures because first you don't see them and second I can't work while doing this. Anyway, so what was I saying? So that's why it's very important to do this stuff really early on. I know probably most of you, they want to jump in to create something very early that demonstrates how your game wants to look like, and so you probably want to start with the graphics and so on. Okay, put it on the right spot. So you may want to start with the graphics and creating models, making the models as perfect as possible from the beginning, and then ignoring the most important parts, and this is definitely the game mechanics. I mean, just so you maybe can show it going for a demo or anything like that, and then sorry, yeah, simply with a big distance. So yeah, some game mechanics to kinda, I mean, it will be probably almost impossible to nail them from the beginning completely right. You probably have to do some changes. Absolutely, with a bigger project, the balancing will be quite difficult to do it correctly from the start. Like I said, I'm again not too sure. That's okay. But as like I say, but if all the things are already working like you want, it just will be so much easier going further. Absolutely, if the game mechanics get more complex, you add more attack types, more enemy types, and so on. So if you have already a structure, if you work with a formula already, all these things will get a lot easier, and then also changes. If you have already a very good structure, then changes will be easier because maybe you just have to change one or two variables to make it right. But of course, it's almost, the other thing is just, it's of course almost impossible to think about everything from the beginning. But testing, testing the game mechanics with some kind of placeholders for your characters and so on, you will learn a lot from it, and as long as everything is simple, it's just much easier to find problems and bugs. So doing these tests early on and not it's just really so important. Absolutely, if you work in a small team or even alone. And that's why I'm preaching about this stuff right now so much. I mean, everything will come with its time. And I personally know exactly how it is. If you are very eager to have something to show others and hope to get some feedback or something like that, and because you didn't take enough time for testing and so on, you kind of realize that there's still a lot of problems with the game and so on, and then, you know, first impressions matter. That's just a thing. Guess we can keep it like this. Yeah, maybe we have to go one more. Otherwise this one will be very massive. So now we kind of have our points to make it seamless. So like I said, in the middle we can be very free, but just on the corners we have to be quite exact, even if we draw it from hand. Yeah, and we see this texture will have a lot of details actually. I didn't realize that. Maybe I should have gone for less details. It would probably save a lot of troubles. But more details is not bad. Let's say like this. Okay. So now I will go down. I will take the pencil and go down probably to 2. Maybe even to 1. Let me see. Yeah, 1 is fine. Or let's compare. Oof, 2 is already quite big. The problem is the pixels between here. Let me zoom out. Yeah, I still go with 1. So we connect now. So I went to a new layer. I created a new layer with transparency because we don't want these points in the end, and they just help. So kind of have to center here everywhere. I'm not sure here one's crazy. And here, let me zoom out now. Yeah, I wonder if 500 to 500 was not enough. Maybe I should have gone for 1000, 1000 and really making bigger corners and then just size everything down in the material. I mean, maybe. Maybe I'm completely overdoing it right. I mean, if I go for 1000, 1000 and I make bigger corns, then slim it down, it's just one corn itself will look much better, has much more detail. And it will also take less time to create it, so I'm thinking about that right now. Or if I zoom in a little bit and take 2 and then I create bigger ones. Let me see how this looks like. Yeah, maybe I overshot it maybe with trying to go small. The lines just look better, to be honest. And if we really, yeah, I think I go with this one here. It's very difficult to say. Kind of feel like I should have gone for 1000, 1000 instead. Just to have more pixel we can use. So I will now always jump one. But we will really see. We probably have to see the end result, otherwise yeah, I have to redo it or blow this up here and put it into a 1000, 1000 and add more stuff to it and so on. Yeah, but yeah, maybe we can test it without shadowing to save some time and see how it looks like. It's fine. Jump over this one here. This. Maybe that's how far we can get today. Making the outlines and then take a look in Unreal Engine. Then we see if we have to adapt the size. That's how it is right now with the texture drawing and so on. I just have to test this stuff, see how it will look like, and then adapt and learn. Okay, could I check this? So I didn't jump one here for some reason. Okay, let me zoom out and test one thing. Anyway, I have to save this. Pictures here. Yeah, that's a I probably can't use that. It kind of tries to. Problem is, it puts it down into 4 squares. Maybe I will try it again as soon as we have more details and so on. Yes. So another maybe this is anyway a little bit too many. Yeah, it's so difficult to say. I will now just move on and then see the result. But I will kind of keep some space between ones, and maybe I will then fill out the spaces with very small stones. I will see. extremely small is anyway difficult with this thickness. I'm a little bit worried there will be too much black like this, but we'll see. Let me zoom out. We will see. Maybe we don't even have to fill stuff out so much because there are layers of stone, so maybe there's a bigger stone underneath, and I will maybe kind of just make it a little bit darker with the shadowing, so we don't have to fill every single hole we create. Here, completely different one. Here we can add Adding some randomness in it with the sizes. Here some smaller ones close to each other. Then a big one here. Another one here. Yeah, I think we have to push it really from the size really down. Now it looks more like a stony road or something like that. With a little bit bigger stones. Question is, will it look like sand at some point? I mean, it's really difficult to make these layers sand, to be honest. Right now it looks everything is flat on the same layer, flat on something flat or so, or it's polished, even polished down or anything like that. What may be a problem? However, maybe with a normal map we can create something there. Yeah, we will see. We will test it out. You know what? I will start. Unreal Engine, so we save a little bit of time. It wasn't okay. And maybe I have to kinda, I think the problem is maybe I have then to almost make like a second layer. Yeah, that could be possible. You know, a second layer with more sand cones over it, and then just deleting the lines below, and then it may look better. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Something I will definitely try. Today, I'm not sure. First, we have to finish the first layer here. It's really difficult to think about when when they have different layers and some lay over each other. And the way I do it right now is definitely not. It's probably the wrong way to do it because I connect everything together. So making a second layer after this will maybe just order everything very nice. I should concentrate on what I draw here. Terrible. Maybe with a little bit bigger stones. I have to see. It's also very difficult to kind of say how long it takes for this texture to create. I had the feeling like in a 60-minute, 90-minute stream, we get quite far, but now it seems like we could have almost put it on a marathon stream with 3 hours plus, and even this may not be enough. So I have to think about this if I want to do this in a long stream. However, the marathon streams are quite booked out because, like I said, we have to finish the desert squirrel. This is priority right now. And then I definitely want to go back to Unreal Engine for the combat simulation to work on that and so on. It was definitely a bad idea to put them to not overlay some of the stones, but I will finish it like this now and then just create the second layer and erase some lines. This may take some more work, but that's how it is now. I can change that. This for next time. Maybe I know how to do it better from the beginning. Anyway, if you want to create your own game, then just be prepared to do more work, putting in more time than you ever anticipate, or at least I mean, the best thing you can do, absolutely, if you do your own work, then it's not a big problem. Is just don't put yourself on some kind of time pressure by saying, yeah, this at this day I want to have my demo. At this point, I want to have a playable alpha version and so on, or anything like that. That's at least something I would tell you, is to just really everything takes its time, and it's better to accept this from the beginning and don't put yourself on some unrealistic pressure. And also, if you really take your time with even the small things, you may think it's not important or something like that. I mean, you will know that you took a shortcut, and maybe not everyone that plays your game will see it. Maybe some will see it, but you will always know. And if you go really truthfully doing your job here, until you yourself is satisfied with the result, you will feel much better. You will be a lot more proud with the end product. But that's of course only if you if you value this, or if you just want to put out the game and hope you make a lot of money with it or something like that. And in the end, time is very relative. I mean, if you work for 5 years on a product, what is one more month? Add one more month, more work, or so, to improve everything or so. Doesn't mean too much then. And even if you're creating a small project, even then it will be time consuming if you want to do something you really can be proud of, even if it's just a short project. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks not too bad, but still, it's just this one layer. It kind of looks like you put sand in a glass, and you look directly through the glass, and then everything is flat and pressed on the glass. So I think I will do a second layer. So I will. Oh, you're already up. Great. Animation test. I think we can do it in here. Here we anyway. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we save. Then second, I want to try again to. It's a little bit better, but of course you see here. Kind of see how he does it. Maybe when we put in the shading, maybe it will work. I wish there was more options for the seamless part. Okay, I will export this into my project. Content. Do I have already something? Testing. We can put it in testing. Cancel this. Animals, enemies, widgets, world, UI. Nothing in here. I will change this name here. Rename it. This will be world assets. And add a new folder and call this texture. And here I put it in. So file export as content texture. So we have it in here. We need a new material, so we add material sand. Oh, let's call this sand yellow, because this will be kind of just from the color. I also could call it sand white, to be honest. I will add here, and also in here textures sample. Put this in here, and here we get sand texture. And I will add this here. We can see how it will look like this. Meanwhile, I will work on the second layer here, because it always takes time for Unreal Engine with the material. I think I can do this directly in this layer because we want to erase stuff. I think I start with the corners because we now have these points here that are still free. We can use these points. Example like this, and then paste stuff in here. Just realized I exported it with the points. Doesn't matter. It's not the finished product, so. And then same thing over here. So on the second layer I want to do so many stones, so many repetitions of stones. Let's say like this. I don't know some of them. I have the feeling here I did something wrong. It's just me seeing things. Stone with very strange corners. It's a little bit over this stuff. So, oh, okay. Yeah, this may take some time. But I think it will improve the texture a lot. Let's make here a bigger one. The question will then just be, can we, with the height map, can we kinda make this correct? So we see that some stones are laying over others. But we have, if we work with different grays, it may work quite well. Yeah, definitely this side looks too perfect. Yeah, we see. Probably have to really say it will be seamless. At this moment, here, pretty. Yeah, I have to see what's going on here. Here I missed quite a bit. There are others that are not seamless. Okay, so now I'll cut this. Okay, we don't want. Oh, okay. Have to wait. Let me see. Yeah. So this will definitely be part one. Yeah, maybe we'll correct the lines when I do shadowing. shades. A bit over 100. Here, smaller one. So, did you manage to do it? No. That's now the problem. Yeah. The points are now really annoying, actually. I see them too well. Let me export this without the points. I need a new layer with a white background. Save. Export. You still see it. Yeah, we have to see. Maybe really if we add more details and so on, the seamless will work. And like I said, of course, I mean, this is quite big because this guy is maybe looking up 3 meters, 2.5, 3 meters over the sand. And then we have extremely high, extremely big cores, of course. But we can do this in here pretty easy with texture coordinates. Just pull this in here. And now we say as example 10 times this, and this will maybe take some time to calculate, but it's okay. Okay, let me get my points back so I can do. Here, that's over 200. So this one here. to be very careful on which layer you are drawing. So this is on a small stone. Just see, I didn't do that. Did it. And we see now we have a lot more details and my computer can't calculate it. Let's see like this. Yeah. Oh, I hate this. Which was that? I'm not sure where I can set this up. Yeah, anyway, that's something I have to look up. The best thing I can do now is adding here constant 1 for roughness and 0 for speck. Thank you for the subscription. I'm not sure if you're watching. But anyway, thank you. Okay, see if this helped a little bit. Yeah, maybe 10 times 10 times was a little bit too small. Yeah, maybe it's not working like I'm doing it right now. That's also possible. Let's see. However, yeah, it's still a lot of work. There's the problem is something I always I was worried from the beginning that this would happen. Absolutely when we push up the graphics. So I always have the graphics a little bit low when I work in the editor. Absolutely when OBS is on, otherwise it would be even slower. Everything. And the problem is the refraction, or that too much light is being reflected. I know you can set it up somewhere, and I'm not sure where exactly this is. Maybe you have to do an extra volume. That's something I have to look up. However, even with working in visual effects, maybe. There's always, I still had this reflection problem. I think the biggest problem is that it's just a really flat, that everything is flat. And of course, when we then create our map, we won't do it just flat. This may help, but I'm not sure. Of course, this type of reflection we definitely don't want. Yeah, we see when we move. We only see it when we move, actually. But that's terrible, of course. And then the rest is because my computer cannot. So much of it. I'm pretty sure we can. I will find a way to fix it so it won't look like this. However, maybe we want, if you think about like just the tip of the stone, maybe we want some reflection of the sun there. Maybe that's realistic, but I have to learn a lot more about texture creating and so on. Anyway, I think 90 minutes we went over it. I will stop here. So this is part 1 of this texture drawing. Like always, I underestimated it. Maybe I'm just going too wild with the details for this texture, to be honest. Maybe I should have started with bigger cones from the beginning, and then just small them down. Maybe it would even look better. I don't know. Yeah, but I will keep going. Like always, we will try until it will look great. Again, this is also a learning process, and then next time we don't do mistakes we do now. And also I can exchange these mistakes with you in form of tutorials, in form of other live streams explaining to you, and so on. And with that, thank you for watching. Again, thanks for the subscription. Really appreciate it. And I hope you tune in for next stream. Maybe I will do a smaller stream tomorrow. There's also a tutorial planned. So, and because on Wednesday we do most probably do a marathon stream with our desert squirrel. Yeah, what I want to say with that, I'm not sure now if I will do tomorrow. Work on the tutorial. I made a tutorial about the basics, so we went a little bit into that today. The basics of the material editor in Unreal Engine. I went a little bit there today, but this is really a basic for beginners tutorial I created there. So if you never worked with Unreal Engine, with the material editor, it may really help you to understand absolutely the basics. So part 1 is even without textures, so and part 2 will then be with textures to kind of show you how to add textures, not to how to create textures, not what we did today, but how to add textures to the material editor and so on. So yeah, so however, now I kind of want to also go further here with the with my sand texture, but we will see. Um, so thank you for watching. Again, thanks for the subscription, and I hope you tune in for another stream.